What's up guys, it's Team Skully. Today's video is about the rarest Pokemon in Generation 2. I decided to look at the rarity as if you had access to all three games. This doesn't really include game exclusives, and some Pokemon had different rarities in each game. For instance, Houndour, Marill, and Snubbull were very rare in Gold and Silver, but not as rare in Crystal, so I didn't put them on the list because you could easily find them in Crystal. First on the list we have Shuckle. Shuckle has a 10% rarity, which honestly isn't that rare, but you can only find him while using a Rock Smash. And most of the time you use Rock Smash, you're not going to find a Pokemon. And if you do find a Pokemon, 9 out of 10, it's not going to be Shuckle. Shuckle can be found on Route 40 in Cianwood City, on the first floor of the Burnt Tower, and in the Dark Cave. But you definitely have to go out of your way to find him. If you're going through the game in a hurry, there's very little likelihood that you're going to stumble upon one of these guys, and that's why I consider him a part of the list. And also, I just like the idea of smashing open a rock and finding one of these little guys hiding underneath it. Next up, we have one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon, Larvitar, which is one of those Pokemon that got his rarity decreased in Crystal. In Gold and Silver, he had a 5% chance to be found in the Silver Cave, which is the last cave you go through on your way to Battle Red. And in Crystal, it had the same 5% rarity, except for the very last part of the cave where he had a 9% chance of finding him, which isn't that much of a bump, but it's just enough to put him lower on the list than other Pokemon. And although Larvitar has a 5% chance of being found, that's 1 in 20 encounters, the cave is big enough to where you're bound to come across him anyways, whereas other Pokemon you have to go much more out of your way to find them. And although this doesn't really influence rarity, Larvitar has a very low catch rate. As you can see in this video, it took many Great Balls and Ultra Balls to catch him. Next, we have both Tauros and Miltank. I decided to put them together because you can find them in the exact same spots, Route 38 and 39, and they both have almost the exact same rarity. In Gold and Silver version, Miltank and Tauros could be found all 24 hours. Miltank had a constant 5% chance to be found on both routes 38 and 39, while Tauros had a 5% chance on 39, but a 4% chance on 38, and that's because of a swarm mechanic that I'll get to a little bit later in this video. In Crystal version, Miltank and Tauros could only be found in the morning and day, as they were removed from being found at night. And while their chances to be found on Route 38 remained the same, at 5%, Tauros' 4% chance on Route 38 finally bumped up to the 5% chance that Miltank had. Kangaskhan resides on the bottom floor of the rock tunnel and has a 5% chance to be found. Much like Miltank and Tauros, Kangaskhan can be found all day in Gold and Silver version, but in Crystal he was removed from being found at night. Machoke, Marowak, and Haunter all can be found in the cave as well, with about 5% chance to be seen, but since their pre-evolutions are easier to find with around 30% chance, they don't make it on the list. But that's about it for Kangaskhan. Just be sure you don't hunt for him on the first floor like I did for so long. You have to go down to the bottom floor, and make sure it's not nighttime if you're playing in Crystal version. And he is pretty hard to catch, so be sure to bring lots of Ultra Balls and Great Balls. Skarmory is our first version exclusive on the list, as he can't be found in Gold version. And just like Kangaskhan and Miltank, he has a 5% chance to be found in the wild. Skarmory can be found at Route 45, and in Silver version, he can be found all day, while in Crystal, you could not find him at night. Route 45 is home to other rare Pokemon as well, including 3 other version exclusives: Phanpy in Silver version, and Gligar and Teddiursa in Gold. These Pokemon weren't that rare in Gold and Silver, having a 10, 20, and 10% chance of rarity respectively. Teddiursa and Phanpy became more rare in Crystal version, making them actually rarer to find in the wild than their evolutions Donphan and Ursaring. Next up we have Ditto, who has a very similar rarity to Tauros. He can be found on 2 routes, Route 35 and 34, and on Route 34 he has a 5% chance to be found, while on Route 35 it goes down just a little bit to 4%. That's once again due to the swarm mechanic, which I'll be talking about soon. But now for a little recap. So far we've got Shuckle with a 10% chance rarity, but you can only find him while doing a Rock Smash. We've got Larvitar with 5 to 9% chance. We've got Miltank, Kangaskhan, and Skarmory, all with 5% chance and all the similar times a day. And and then we've got Tauros and Ditto with 4 to 5% chance. Now we'll be moving on to the rare Pokemon, so stay tuned to find out who's rarest of the rare in Gen 2. Scyther and Pinsir can only be found during the bug catching contest held in the National Park, but the bug catching contest is only available on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and you can only enter into the bug catching contest once per day. So basically, you only have 3 chances per week to hunt for Pinsir or Scyther. And this is no easy task because both Pinsir and Scyther have only a 5% chance to be found in the wild. To make it even harder, if you didn't see in the video, you only have 20 minutes and 20 park balls to catch these Pokemon. And if you run out of time or run out of balls, you have to wait until the next day the bug catching contest is available. And even worse is you can only keep one Pokemon you catch from the bug catching contest. So if you catch both Pinsir and Scyther somehow in that time, you can only keep one of them. But in terms of the contest, if you catch Scyther, you're guaranteed a win, and if you catch Pinsir, you're most likely to win as long as no one catches a Scyther. And if you win the contest, you get a Sunstone. If you get second place, you get an Everstone. But in the end, it's definitely doable. You just have to have as many encounters during the bug catching contest as you can, and use your park balls wisely. And it is possible to change the date and time. It's a little bit complicated of a process, so I could post a link down below where you can find out how to do that, and that'll help you find these Pokemon a little bit easier. Now before I move on, I have to talk about Swarm Pokemon. Swarm Pokemon were Pokemon that were initially really rare, but then during certain parts of the day and certain times, the rarity would decrease and you could find them easier. You would know if there's a swarm nearby thanks to the Pokegear. Throughout the game, you can get other trainers' numbers, and a couple of those trainers would call you if there's a swarm nearby them. For instance, in Gold and Silver, Snubbull had a 1% chance to be found on Route 38. If you exchange numbers with School Kid Chad, he'll call on Friday mornings and tell you that there's a Snubbull swarm. That means if you go to Route 38 at that time, Snubbull's chance encounter rate will increase from 1% to 30%. But both Snubbull and Marill were not swarm Pokemon in Crystal. Dunsparce, on the other hand, remained a swarm Pokemon through all 3 games. He can be found in the Dark Cave and has a 1% chance encounter rate. But on Thursday nights, Hiker Anthony would call and alert you of a Dunsparce swarm. During this time, Dunsparce's 1% chance would increase to 30% chance. But these calls are so few and far between, I don't really consider it too much of a decrease to rarity. So although he's only a 1 in 100 encounter, I do think it's easier to just go into the Dark Cave and try to find one without the swarms. Yanma is the last swarm Pokemon, and just like Dunsparce, has a 1% chance encounter rate and can be found in Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Yanma is located on Route 35 and is the reason why Ditto is a 4% chance encounter. On that same route is where you'll find Bugcatcher Arnie, and if you exchange numbers with him, he'll be the one to notify you if there's a Yanma swarm nearby. And although you can wait until the swarms, which only happen Tuesday mornings, I think it's best just to go into the grass and hunt for him. But once again, he is only a 1 in 100 encounter, so you have to bring your patience as well as a lot of Great or Ultra Balls because he is kind of hard to catch. But now we move on to the rarest Pokemon of Gen 2, which is also the rarest Pokemon of Gen 1. Here it is, the moment you've been waiting for, the rarest Pokemon of Gen 2, Chansey. Chansey can be found on Route 13, 14, and 15, but no matter what time of day and no matter where you are, he only has a 1% chance encounter rate. This video is of me hunting for Chansey, and it's about 8,000% actual speed. But there you have it, guys. Chansey is the rarest Pokemon of Gen 2 with only 1% chance to be found. Nothing improves that chance. The only way you can find it is just hunting a lot and trying to find it in the grass. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is the first time I've ever made a video like this, so please leave a comment down below of what you thought. Like it if you thought it was good. This will help me to see if I should make more of these, how I can change them, and other topics I can make videos about. I'm definitely going to make more videos like this and with a lot more frequency, so subscribe if you want to see more Team Skully content.